What is all about light language? Do you know if you are actually speaking one? So let us find out in this video. Om Shanti, I'm Garrett, yogi, life coach as well as spiritual enthusiast. So a lot of my works in this channel is to spread the words of love, light and positive message out to the world. So if you can resonate with some of my contents, please show some love, hit like, subscribe and share your learnings in the comment section below. It will help you reaffirm your learnings as well as to help those that are about to watch this video. Okay? Today's topic is all about light language and 8 ways for you to know if you are actually speaking one. So let us start off this topic for today. Now first of all, what is light language? Well, there's these 8 points which I'll be sharing with you that tells you a little bit more about light language. But just as a quick summary, it's a form of channeling where a language comes through which can be different for everyone. That holds a certain meaning that the conscious mind doesn't always recognize, though it can sound like gibberish talk, okay? But really, the subconscious mind knows. Light language is nothing new. If you think about Native American Indians, right, and how they would chant and dance, and also those who have been recorded in history as speaking in tongues. So speaking a language which no one understands, and yet there seems to be bringing through something, right? This is all light language, or could be classed as it. It's very easy to think that if someone is speaking light language, that they are just speaking gibberish or just making a lot of funny noises. But in actual fact, there's much more to it, and that I'm going to explain shortly. To form all channeling, right, all that is very basis of it, okay? Number 1, to know you're speaking light language is words are coming through you. So you may be in a very relaxed state, you may have been meditating, and it's more likely to happen that way because it's a form of channeling, right? So words start to come in and they may sound like gibberish, okay? They might not make any sense at all, and it might sound like a foreign language to you. So in addition, right, sounds such as clocks, clicks, and they are actually made of too many, okay? Made of all these weird sounds, okay? And this too many believe, right, some kind of language of extraterrestrial, okay? They may sound like extraterrestrial origin. So pips and also beeps, right, things like that, as well as things like tones and hums can be heard, and singing too, okay? Singing is a very popular because there's all kinds of emotional release that can come through songs. And those who are listening to it, right, it can actually choose them via the notes that are being sung into a certain vibrational frequency. So singing light language is practically good for helping to raise others' vibration and your own as well. So another thing that can happen is that different voices can come through. So when speaking light language as well as versions or various words coming through, okay, it can sound like a different voice in speaking. So you might wonder just now, where is all this coming from then? It might be coming from spirit guides, it might be coming from your higher self, it might be coming from higher density beings, 4th, 5th and 6th density. They want to bring some meaning into this reality and you're the channel for it. So interdimensional beings and spirit discarnate as well, okay? So one can channel spirits as long as you make sure with all of these things you practice protection as always, okay? Just make sure it's all done in a love and light manner, okay? Number 2, it's not usually understandable by your conscious mind, okay? So that's the you listening, but your subconscious may well know what it means, okay? But the thing is, it's not usually understandable, but it feels really good to do, and many who practice channeling light language, right, says that although the words aren't really understandable, all the clicks or sounds or tones, they feel really good to do. So because as well as bringing in meaning that the subconscious can understand, it's also bringing in feeling and emotions of a high vibration to help you feel good and others. So in addition, light language can feel really familiar. So even though it's not directly understandable, it can actually feel quite familiar to you and others that are listening. Okay? Number 3, it brings up an innate remembering. So your subconscious mind, right, may well recognize these sounds and words that are coming through. We've all had many lifetimes, and our soul or our higher self remembers all these lifetimes, and the knowing and wisdom is kept in our subconscious mind. It's this we just need to remember, and the things in these tones and sounds, right, and words that all come through, it causes our subconscious mind to be triggered to remember. So this triggers for innate knowing and wisdom and understanding to bubble up to our conscious mind, and then we can use it to our everyday lives. So it can come in some form of revelation and a sudden sense of knowing several days or maybe quite soon after listening to some sort of light language channeling. Okay, we suddenly start remembering a bunch of stuff. Okay, so it brings out an innate remembering that was held in your subconscious mind. Number 4, you've actually channeling more than just vocal sounds and words. You are channeling symbols and figures and pictures too. Okay. Now, have you ever heard the saying that a picture says 1,000 words? Now, that's the thing. If you're channeling symbols, for example, someone might look at that symbol and it might hold great meaning for them. Not consciously, but it might actually trigger a remembering in their subconscious. So it might cause them to have an awakening. So it's quite a big deal actually. You may also paint in light language. We do drawing or create poetry in light language, and this too has the same effect. Okay, so other types of art that can also be done as hieroglyphs and symbols, scenes and people. Okay, so if you look at Egyptian hieroglyphs, right, you might be able to get a sense they seem a little bit familiar to you. And that's maybe a bit of meaning comes to your mind when you're looking at them, especially in the days to come. Okay. Number 5, it feels like you're channeling. It just comes up just like being a channel of water. This stuff, it just flows through you. You feel like speaking, singing, making tones and hums and sounds. You may also feel like moving your body as well. Okay, may feel like dancing, and it just feels so lovely, and it's all that's just coming through you, and you're not entirely sure where it's coming from. Okay, so you just feel the urge to do it because you're bringing in meaning that's needed. You bring into reality, and your subconscious deciphers what all this is, and then you can go about hearing and teaching others in reality on what you've actually brought into this reality. Number 6, it may come in poses, postures, hand signs, dance and movements. So oftentimes when bringing in light language, right, as well as the vocal aspects to it, there may be movements, and this may happen uncontrollably. This may be a rocking around, twitching or moving, a dancing and a swaying, postures as well as hand gestures or signs like mudras. So the thing is this just feel right to do. They may come with the words or with the singing, and it's just another way of expressing oneself. And if you're doing it for the benefit of others, they can experience all of these postures, movements, sounds all together, and they may actually find in coming days, right, that it brings up some kind of innate knowing and wisdom for them to be viewing you and others performing light language. So the bodily movements help to augment the communication for help to get in and out. Sometimes you may want to sort of wiggle this out, and it's just an aid to actually effective communication. Okay. Number 7, it makes others feel good to hear it. Okay, so those who are actually watching or listening to you channel light language, right, or the accompanying movements, right, it helps them to feel good. So it also helps to break down your ego as well, because it can make you feel a bit silly showing off your skills, hearing in and bringing in light language. It can be quite a big thing to go ahead and show that to someone. So it shows that your ego is shrinking a bit, which is a good thing to be able to persist this to others. And in addition, the light language has the potential to heal others. So last point, number 8. Are you feeling healed, or others, are they actually feeling healed? So now light language has the potential to heal in 2 different ways. First of all, it brings in healing concepts, so we know that your body is generated by the mind, and if we have the subconscious trauma and things that needs healing, it can cause physical ailments for us. So light language can bring in healing concepts and healing formulas and realization for us to help us feel better, and it helps us feel physically better as well. And way number 2 is on how it has the potential to heal, is that light language does what it says. It's light language. It brings in light. So our reality is based on light. Everything is made out of atoms, empty space, energy is as they found, okay? Everything in creation is based on fundamentally light, photons. So light language brings in more light, as it is said. So it brings light into our lives. It raises our vibration, and light heals, okay? Because oftentimes in our bodies we end up with dark pockets of energy where stresses and negativities and anxieties will also collect there. So it becomes some kind of blockages. So light language can help to clear that all up. So you might ask, why don't we just speak in English or your other first language? Okay, well, oftentimes our words have negative vibrations to them. They can have a negative vibration or sound, plus language. Regular language can be quite limiting. That the thing about light language is that anything goes. Okay, so all sorts is coming through. We don't quite know what's coming through. Always practice protection, as I said, in love and light, and understanding that the greater good and light and the highest intent in mind. Always practice this. But the conscious mind doesn't often understand what's being said, but we just feel that the inner knowing coming through, and it is good to do so. Okay, it feels good to do so. So there's a lot more, especially emotional content, that can be felt when performing light language. So I hope you actually learned something from this video, and this is actually quite informative, and it links up a lot with channeling. So in future, I'll be creating a video all about understanding channeling. So this, if you learn about light language, it's most likely you're channeling already. Okay, so this is just a content that I feel I want to bring forward, so that my audience learns a little bit more about light language, which is quite healing and actually is quite interesting as well. Okay, so I hope you learned something from this video, and if you do, please share your thoughts and learnings in the comment section so that I can like to view them. Okay, much love and blessings to you. Om Shanti.